Hello, this is Lena making bespoke craft designs. I think this is part 7 of my journals. I'm just going to finish off the covers. I've gone through them all and sewn them all in pamphlet stitch. That's the only one I'm really comfortable with, so that's the one I've done. I've made sure that I've got them all the right way up, so today I'm going to put some covers on and explain what I've done with the covers. But the first thing I wanted to do that I thought was really important, I do mention people as I go along, but I wanted to just mention the people that have really inspired me. And I'm only a very, very small YouTube channel. I've got, I haven't got very many subscribers at all yet, but I just love what I do, and I have been inspired greatly by Rachel from Roxy Creations and Gayle Agustoneli, Shabbydabbydoodah, and I get quite a few bits off her Etsy shop as well. I do also from Roxy Creations, I get some of her bits off her Etsy shop. Now ARTYmaze, I buy lots and lots and lots of her journal kits, and I've got some ready to go, and I can't wait to have a go at one of her kits next. I think that's what I'm doing next. And ARTYmaze, I mean, she's just wonderful, and she inspires me greatly as well. And Tracey Fox is another one that I use her Etsy quite a bit. Two people that I've just started to watch. I haven't watched many videos because now I'm doing more videos, and people who do their own YouTube videos realise you don't have that much time to watch everybody else. So I'm bitting and bobbing at the moment watching other people. The other people that I've just started to watch and was Sarah from Roxy Creations. She's I've just started watching her through this 100-day challenge. She's Rachel's sister, and I've just started watching her as well, and she's really lovely. I like watching her channel. She's very good. And also the Firefly Studio 67 and Witchcraft Do You Do. I've only watched a few videos. I've not watched many, but what I've watched have been really good. So I just thought I'd say a mention to them. I'm also going to put them list them in my description box, because I like to list people that have inspired me or like to mention them. So I just thought I'd do that before we start. There is other people that I watch, but not all the time. I've been inspired, over the years with different things of what I've been doing, but obviously can't watch everybody. Not if you're actually crafting as well. It takes up quite a lot of time. Right, so this first one, I had some paper. It was actually Valentine's paper, and I thought, well, I'm never going to use it. So it's like a real thin it's between a card and a paper. And this one on the other side was all Valentine, and then this side was, like that. And I thought, well, I maybe could have used that. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do with these pieces. But what I did, I decided to turn them into some mixed media pieces, because I love playing with paints and texture and stamping, and love doing mixed media bits. I do quite a lot of that off screen. I haven't done any on video yet, and that was a long piece, but I'm going to use a bit of that one today. So I've already actually picked my covers, because my covers were the 12 by 12 sheets, but I thought, well, I might put these over the top on some of them and just see how I go. So the first one I'm going to do is just show you what I've done with it. But I love playing with these. I love doing these. So this was exactly the same. I mean, this was the cover that I picked originally, and I've done things in the inside, and I haven't covered this. and I just wanted to put something over the top of this. I wasn't sure what. I've obviously got my stitch in there from sewing it in, but sometimes I just put lace over that, just to give it a bit more strength, and then, you know, put a bit of decoration on these. But on this one, this was exactly the same size, just by chance, as the book, but I didn't want it quite the same size, so I've cut it down just with some of the fancy scissors, just to give it that fancy edge. And I've cut it all the way round, so that when I fold it in half, it just gives you a little bit all the way around the edge, so I can still see the original, like that. And I was tempted to just glue it down here and here and leave this open, to put some more tags in, which you could do that because it's really, really strong. You could really do that if you wanted to. I'm not going to do on this occasion. I'm going to glue it all down. But first of all, what I did was I've just used some of these fancy brads as the closure with a bit of this cord, because I wanted to use the cord on a few of them. I thought rather than put it all the way around the journal and waste this piece, I've just cut a piece off at each end and glued it down and attached it with some brads. And when it's glued down on here, that's not going to move anywhere. That's really strong. So that's what I'm going to do today. I don't want to put too much over the top of this. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on it yet. I don't want to put too much on, just because I just really like that front. I just think that's really nice. I want something, but I don't know what. So I'm just going to get on and glue down. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to just do one side at a time. Just have to mind that I don't get my cord in the way. I'm just going to see whereabouts I want it. I want it sort of in the middle-ish, if I can, about there. Yep, that'll be fine. I've actually cheated and got my new glue out, and I haven't finished my old one yet, but it was because I've been tidying. I've had a real good few days tidying up my craft room, and I've been destashing lots and lots of stuff, because I thought at the moment there's loads of children that are off school, and the parents must be pulling their hair out with them. It's all right them doing homeschooling, but you know, obviously you've got to keep them inspired. And I was going through a lot of the stuff that I no longer use, you know, from my card making days, and there was lots of stuff in there that wasn't really my style, even when I did the cards. So I thought, well, if there's some young children that are in my area, don't want to sell it, I'll just you know, advertise it on a selling site, but free. And a lady came, I think it was for her grandchildren, a lady came and picked it up. She said, oh, they're really, two young girls, they're really bored. She said they'll absolutely love this. Now, I've not heard from her whether they've seen it or whatever. I'm not quite sure, because I presume she was just dropping it off for them. Obviously, we're still sort of not seeing people yet. I mean, I just put it on my wall. I just waited in my garden for her to arrive so that it was there when she come. I'd have hated her to have come and somebody else thought I was just giving it away and taking it away. Because I live in a little village and a lot of people do that. They'll just leave stuff on the wall and say, you know, free to good home, which I wouldn't have minded, but when I'd already got somebody else to come out and get it, I didn't want to do that. So I just waited for her to come, and she took it all away. So I hope the children get some pleasure out of it. So as I was tidying up, I knocked my little glue right at the back of my room, and it's such a tiny room. I have to do one bit at a time. I have to do one side and then the other, and of course it was on the side of the room that I wasn't ready to do. So anyway, I've now got it out. I've now managed to, we've got one of these grabber things that you can sort of get stuff that's way out the way. So I went and got hold of that and I've managed to get it out. But because I had this one in front of me, I thought, well, I just forgot about the other one, to be fair. And I've started using this one. Now, I do use an awful lot of glue, but I want it to stay there. I am going to give one away to my YouTube subscribers, but at the moment I haven't got very many. I haven't got very many who watch the channel, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'm also going to give one away on my Instagram account, which is in the link on my YouTube. Mainly because, as I say, I don't sell them and have made them, and I want to just share what I do. Right, I am going to clip this down in a minute, but I'm just pressing it, especially around the brads, just to make sure it's really taking that glue. Just give it a minute and do the same on here. I like this idea better with this non-stick stuff. I've just put it round an envelope, you know, an envelope with a bit of card in the back, you know, the ones that, so that you don't bend whatever they're sending you. And I've just attached it on the back. I've got two of them actually. The other one, I don't know where I've put that now. It's about somewhere. I think it fell on my floor as well. So I've got that much stuff on my desk, and I was trying to move some wires from under my desk and everything fell off my desk. So now I'm just looking at these. As I say, I don't really know what to do on the front. I don't really want anything as big as that. Let me just have a look in here. Now, these are pre-made. These are bits I've made earlier and got ready to go. No, I don't like that. That was just like, it's a tag, but it's just got some fabrics on it, but it's on a tag. And then on the back, I like to write a little message to whoever I'm sending it to. And that's what I should do if I'm gifting them. I was just looking at some of these that I made. Oh, that's quite a nice one. Oh, that's a tag, and it's a fabric, and I've just put handmade with love on the back of this one. I quite like that actually. Oh, I might do something like that. I really like that one. As I say, these are already mates. These are things I've made just when I've been faffing about with bits and pieces. I don't think I've got any more. Oh, I've got one there on a button. It was the back of a book again that I didn't know whether I would use the sheets, so I've made them into like little circles and then just put like some little clustery bits on them and put them on. I like them. I like that idea better than these big bits because they're going to take up too much room, so I'm taking them out of the way. I'm not keen on that one. So I had no intention of using these, and then I just that's just one on its own. Never even thought about using these, to be honest, but I think I've got plenty to go. Oh, there's another one there, look. And another one. Let me have a look at them. Must be enough there to have a look at. So all I've done with these is got a little bit of fabric, a little bit of old book page, and an image out of a book that was a bit too difficult to fussy cut, but I wanted to use them, so I've just stuck them all on here. So it's just my sort of take on the clusters. I mean, everybody does the beautiful clusters. This is just a bit of lace and again some paper. But as I say, this I've decoupaged from a napkin, two birds, onto this real thick fabric tag. I bought these tags, put a little bit of lace on the top there and a little bit of lace on the bottom. I'd forgotten about these. Well, it's the only one I've made. I was just playing about one day, but I think I'm going to use that because I really like that. These are some little clusters as well. What type of a cluster? So they're just using bits of book page that I didn't want to waste. I've glued a couple together to strengthen them, and then I've put some buttons on them and just some odds and ends that I had. I'll leave them there. And I think I'm just going to make that, I'm going to sew it down slightly there and then just clip it onto there, quite like that. Well, that's not what I was going for. That was not what I was thinking, but I really do like that. So I think I'm going to go with that. Because if I just clipped it at the top there, it would dangle about, and I don't want to do that. So I am going to glue it down on the back. So I'm going to glue it so it just goes in that middle there. And I'll just catch that there like that. But I really do like that. I have to keep checking that I'm in screen because I've moved all my books. I still don't think I'm in the right position, but if you saw the amount of stuff that I got rid of, and then when I put all my boxes back, I thought, oh goodness me, I can't even see where I've got rid of stuff. I say it wasn't, as my daughter would like to say, rubbish. It wasn't rubbish at all. It was just that there were things that I no longer use. And I thought, you know, if there's, especially at the moment, you know, it's nice to be kind to other people anyway, but I just thought at the moment, while people are, you know, struggling and being good and trying to do what they can, and, you know, just thought, well, it was a way of reaching out to somebody and helping them a little bit. I mean, I can't do a lot of other help because, you know, we need help as well in a lot of areas. So, you know, that's one way I can do something just to help out. It's been hard without having the family here, when, you know, the same as there must be lots of people out there that are the same. You know, you miss your family desperately, but, you know, my daughter, you know, gives a lot of practical help because these days both me and my husband need quite a lot of help. And she's still bringing meals, bless her, and dropping them at the door. Not always, I mean, not every night, but she's helping because I just don't want to go shopping. I just don't want to go out and about shopping. So when she cooks her meals, she places some up, and then I don't have to go too much then. There, so very simple, very, very simple. But now I have glued that down there so it doesn't move about, and I have just glued some of the little bomb-bombs at the bottom there, little bobbles, just to keep them down. I didn't even know I had that. It was a real surprise because I really like. I'm pleased to look through there. I really like that. And then the back, I'm just going to leave as it is because I just love this back, and I want to get the pleasure out of it. And if this is one of my giveaways, I want other people to get the pleasure out of me. If they want to change it and put something on it, they can. I'm just going to put some clips just on here just to keep this edge down near the brad, just until it should be dry now because I've been working on it, but I'm just going to clip them a little bit. This one seems to have stuck down a lot better on there. And then this is concealed underneath now, and as I say, that's not going to go anywhere. It's concealed under there and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's one that we've just finished off. Oh, this was what I was looking for earlier. This was the one that, this is before I've done anything with it, that is just the size it was before I've cut round it, and all I've done is bent it in half, and as you can see, it's almost the same size. There's only a little bit showing there. There's nothing showing at the bottom, nothing showing at the top. This is another design, this one. And so all I did was cut round with the you know, with these are children's scissors, these, but they work quite well. Just cut round the edge to make a fancy edge. I mean, you don't have to do that. And if you've got punches, you could do it with punches, or you could just cut it straight if that's what you wanted to do. It'd be a bit difficult to tear because of all the texture on it. So I chose to just use those scissors. I'm not going to do another one of these because I've done that one, but that's the same sort of thing, but just different colouring. So I thought I'd have a look at, oops, this one. Now, I made a bit of a boo-boo with this one. When I've cut the cover, I don't suppose it really matters, but I've got the dragonflies upside down. I would have had them that way, I think. So they look like that. But mine don't look like that. Mine look like that. I've got that facing me, so that's what I'm looking at with them flying down. Don't suppose it really matters, but I thought, well, I am going to cover this one a bit more as well because I'm not sure I want them that way round. It's funny because when I was doing this one, I kept getting confused when I was putting the sheets in because I kept turning my page this way round, and I thought, oh, do you know, that's going to really annoy me. So I'm going to cover it. Now, this is again one of these papers that is just all my bits that I've put together, but I quite like the effect. So I fancy putting this on here. Oh, I don't know whether that's gonna, well, it'll cover all the back. It would cover all the back, but it won't quite cover the front. I do like that though. I like that. I think I've got some of this actually in here because I've got these sort of colourings, so I quite like that. Now I did find, that's what reminded me to look at those things, because this one, when I'd done a box of bits, this is just a round crochet doily, and then I had a little flower that I had from something, and I stuck these together on one of those, and that's what reminded me just when I was on screen to have a look in there. This one I found on the floor when I was cleaning up. I found it, my box had obviously dropped, and I found this one, and I've kept it out. And just when I looked at that, I thought, oh, I've got a box of them, I'll see what's in it. See, I quite like that on there, but it's what I put down this edge. Have I got any lace? It's a bit of a funny shape to put down there. They're bits of ties and things. No. Oh, that would have been nice, but it's the wrong colouring. It's the bobbly stuff, but it's the wrong colouring. I've got some more bits just in a basket just off here. Let me just have a look. I'm sure I dragged some bits out. Oh, that's nearly the right size, that piece there. And this is what I've been using throughout the book, and that's all I'm left with. That's a tiny bit. Been putting these on the bottom of some of my tags. Well, that's a big bit. What's this bit? It's like a piece of cotton lace. Oh, that looks quite pretty. I don't like that with that though. I don't like the two colours together. It needs to be. I've got some of this that I've been cutting the buttons off. What about this? What does that look like? Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna. It's like off a cardigan. It's like it's still got the edge of the cardigan on there. Can I do anything with that? I love those buttons, and I love the bit of crocheting, and I do like the contrast better with the colours. I wonder if I could glue that on there. Do you know what I think? I'm going to give that a go. Yep, I'm going to try that. Let me put those back out my way. Up there. Put that there. I haven't got as much because I've put everything into boxes and put everything out the way, because if you'd have seen the mess, oh goodness me, the mess on my floor and the mess round everywhere. Oh, I know what I haven't done. I haven't decided what size I want it. I want it sort of about there. Sort of. Never measure anything. I'm not very good at measuring. My husband laughs at me because terrible at measuring stuff. Why have I just put that little snip so I know where I'm going to there? I do like these papers that they're a lovely colour argent with. I really like them. I like making them as well. They're ever such good fun to make because they're so easy. If you've got a printer, just where I've torn it, I've got some white edges. Oh, I found my old sponge as well. So I had to get a new sponge out because I couldn't find my old one, and that was on the floor as well. So I'm just making sure I've got any white torn edges there. That's that one. Oh, I haven't mentioned him today, my little buddy. Oscar is laid behind me, fast asleep, snoring his head off. Bless him. It's a bit hot for him. It's really hot at the moment. We'll probably go out a bit later, but it's a bit hot. I'm just looking at, I don't think I've torn enough. Oh, I have. I didn't think I'd torn enough off there. I maybe haven't, just on that edge. I maybe have to go back in and just trim that little bit. So I like that there. I think I am going to do what I said down there. So I'm just going to fold this so I know where I want it. And I've just got a funny shaped little bit here that I'm just going to tear off. I don't want a straight edge, so I don't want to do it with scissors. So I'm just going to take this bit off. That's gone quite crooked, but that is at the back, so it's a lot different. Let me just get that down. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter if a bit of this shows through, because I wasn't originally planning on covering them, so I don't mind if it shows through. I just didn't want them upside down. Sometimes I don't mind things upside down, but just on this occasion I didn't want them upside down. Right, so check again. I'm paranoid that I'm gonna, oh, good job I checked. I did have it upside down. And you see, always check, because all your hard work, you'd have to take the cover off and start. I mean, you'd be able to do something with it, but it would be upsetting if that happened. So I'm just going to move this. I'm going to do the same again, just go halfway. And I'm just going to go to the edges of this. And I'm using Fabri-Tac again. I just know it's not going to go anywhere then. Actually, don't think it is Fabri-Tac. It's the one that's very similar. It's 3 in 1. I get mixed up because, as I've said before, sometimes I find that the Fabri-Tacs, usually the Fabri-Tac's the dearer one, but then this last time I have been using Fabri-Tac because I could get it cheaper than this 3 in 1. But I'm back to the 3 in 1 again. Tend to get them then you can get 2 price, you know, get it cheaper for getting 2, and I'll probably get 2 lots. And I got quite a lot just at the start of I'd ordered them, but I didn't know whether they'd deliver them. Anyway, they did, because they were still doing deliveries, but I wasn't sure whether they would. There was so much uncertainty going on at the beginning. So that's just all I've done for a start, is just to give it another interest underneath. And then I'm going to glue this one down on there. The only thing I'm going to do there is just colour that a little bit, just so it's not too bright yellow. Being as I've put this over the top, yeah. I just don't know whether I want a bit more off somewhere else now I've done a bit there. I think I probably do, just so it doesn't look quite so odd. So I'm just going to take a bit off there. This was not the plan. Well, I didn't really have a plan. I just got some papers out that I thought I might like, because normally I have the big box and I'm raving them all out, raving them all over my table, and I thought it won't last long, but I thought I'll be good and put them away. Yes, I've just got a little bit showing at the edge at the top there, and this bit here, and I'm going to put that on there. I haven't decided whether I'm putting anything else on the back. I probably will on this one, but let's just get it glued down for a start. I'll tell you what I could do, being as I have found my other glue, I could just finish it off. I've had it stood upside down to I really like to get this finished. I won't waste any of it because they're so expensive to, you know, you use a lot of glue, so it does become quite expensive. So you need to make sure you use it all. Just getting well into that edge. The spine. I have to store them upside down so that when it's getting low, because I don't have the squeezing. I can't squeeze like I used to. It hurts my fingers and my hands. So. Oh. Please, when it's empty. I wonder if you can hear my dog in the background. I don't know whether he can, but he's really snoring, bless him. Does a lot of sleeping these days. Don't you, Oscar? So he was struggling a bit with the heat yesterday. Yeah. I wanted to do some bits out in the garden, and he won't stay in if I'm out in the garden. He wants to be where I am, and he's following me about. And oops, that's gone all over the place now. So I had to keep coming back in because it was too much for him. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of my glue. I've got a big lump of glue. Right, I'm just going to make sure this is well down. Don't know where I've put my, sorry, stretching right across. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for my little card just to see if I can do it in my bone folder, but it's a bit of a big area, so just use this card just to make sure there's no lumpy bits in the middle. That's it, and it's all down. Now, please tell me I'm the right way up. I am the right way up. So that's so far what I've got, and that's what I've got on the back. And I think I'm just going to leave that on the back just with one layer. I mean, as I say, sometimes I put lace around here and whatever, but I quite like that. I like to do different bits and different things. So did we decide I was going to go with that? I think I am. Reminds me of a rosette. It's got a little bit hanging down. It's got a bit of silk on it. And then I'm going to try somehow and get that, because this curls. So I've got to try and get this straight if I can. And I should think if I just get some glue on that, it looks quite good. Quite like it. A bit different. I've been cutting the buttons off and using them on other things. Oh, I like that effect. I wonder if I could... Oh, look at that ruffled. I don't think I'd be able to get that effect without sewing it. Then I'd struggle to sew that because of the buttons. I'd get the buttons in the way. Now I think... let's just have a go and see what it does. I'm not quite sure. Right. See if I can get to the end of this glue this time. Put you on last so you're not in my way. Ooh, I think this is maybe, oh gosh, I didn't get rid of that lump. It's dried up on it. Let's see if I've got this last bit out. I think actually I have. I think I've got to the end of it. Oh well, that is good news. That is really good news. I like to get every last drop out of it, and then I can move on to my new one. It makes me laugh. I struggle to squeeze it out like this, and as soon as you stand it up you get this big explosion that comes out when you don't want it. That's it. Put the lid back on quick and just keep it upside down a second till I've finished what I'm doing. And then let's just see what it does. Oh, I need you up there a little bit. I'd rather cut a bit off than have it too short. What I thought I'd do is once I get it down to where I want it, I can always go back in and put a little bit more glue on it. But this will just hold it till I decide how I want to do it. Oh, I quite like that effect. I mean, obviously it needs this little bit cutting off, and a bit at the end I've got an edge from somewhere. But I quite like that. I'm just going to leave that to dry a bit before I actually cut it off. And then I'm just going to put this one on here like that. So I think once I've glued it. Yeah, so I've just finished gluing that down. I don't always glue right down. I've glued the piece, as I say, around the middle, the cardboardy piece, and I've left that loose. I haven't put a closure on this one because this is really heavy on that edge and it's just dropping it down, and it is quite full. It's got quite a lot of stuff in at the moment. If, you know, when it gets fuller and I decide I want to put one on, I can just put something inside there and secure it to do it. There's lots of different ways of putting them on. I wouldn't come through the front again because I've obviously got this on here, but I could put something on there. But I liked that one without the fastener on. So that's that one. So I'm just going to do a quick, take the bits off here. Oh, these should be well and truly dry now. So the first one I did was this one with the mixed media background, and then I found this tag that I'd forgotten completely about, and then the back I've just left plain. You could put something else on it if you wanted, but I do like that one. And then this one, I've just put this piece on all the way around. I'm going to leave the back free again. And on this side I've used this button trim that I really liked, and just a little saying, and one of these whatever they are, little clustery things. I like that. I like the way that it sticks up at the edge, but it's very, very secure. It won't come off. I mean, if somebody got this, as you know, in the giveaway, you could glue it down if you wanted to. I just like it like that, and I think that looks quite pretty. So they're the two I've done today, fully done. I've just got one I'm going to finish off. All I've done with this one, because I didn't realise my camera wasn't running, and I started to do this one and I hadn't pressed record. So all I've done with this one is put a piece of ribbon underneath here and glued it down, and then used a piece of one of my pieces of paper that I have then it's got coffee dyeing on it, it's got bits of colouring on it, so I've just put that as a backing and used up another piece of that on there. That's as far as I've got. And then what I wanted to do, this is what I want to put on. This is another, oh, wrong way up. It's got some writing on it, so I want the writing the right way up. I wanted to put this on as just as a feature piece on the front. This is some of this mixed media piece that I've done, and I quite like that on there. I'm going to have a play with these and show you the colours I use and the things I do. I'm no mixed media artist. I just like playing, but you get some really cool effects. So I'll just show you how I do them. I never get them to turn out the same again. I have loads of goes with them and they all turn out different, and I really like them. So I think I'm just going to put that on there. And when I had the camera off, that I thought was going, I was picking out some bits, and I've got some bits here. This is something from Shabbydabbydoodah. I like that butterfly on there, because I didn't know whether I wanted to cover just that end up there, so I didn't know whether to put that on there like that. I don't know. Or whether to put one of those buttony things on there. Quite like that too. But then I found these. Now these are something I'm doing in another video about this making my own sort of faux vellum. It's not nowhere near as good as the proper vellum, but it's a good way to have a play and to make something that's no longer looks like it did originally, and I just like that. I really like that, but I don't know whether I like it with that, but I think I need something on there, so I don't know whether, I don't know. I definitely want that on there. I think I quite like that just on there. Without or with? No, I think it needs something. I don't know whether, if I cut that down a little bit, I don't know whether I can. No, I don't think I can without it being, but I could have it well over like that. I could have it well over on that edge so that I can put that on there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So this again has got a real bumpy background, a lot of texture going on. So I am just going to do these down with the 3-in-1 again. And then I'm going to call this video it, because I need to go and see if my husband wants something to eat and another drink. Make sure he's okay. I know he's okay because I've heard him singing. He's had a music channel on and he's been singing in the background, so he's fine. And Oscar's been fast asleep. He hasn't been checking on him like he normally does. So I've only stuck the bottom layer down, and then I've got these layers here. Oh, I've stuck that one down. It will stick if I don't grab hold of it, but it's only the bottom layer I wanted to stick down. Yeah, so I've done that. So I do have a video on me doing these, me making these, but I just wanted to use one today. So yeah. So then I've got 2 bits stuck up there. I love the 3D effect. I absolutely love this. I'm not going to stick down the stem because I'm going to put a flower over there, and excuse me, it will hold that stem in place because I don't need the stem on show on this particular one. Oh, I like this idea. Well, these were just out of an ordinary book page that I've put the baby oil on, and as I say, it hasn't made it like vellum, this one, but it's made it different to what it was originally. It's just changed how it was, and I really like it, and I enjoyed playing. And at the moment, while we're all stuck in and wanting something different to do, I just think it was quite fun. And I didn't have any. I did have some vellum, but only some little bits, and they were from my card making days, and they weren't what I wanted for this particular journal. So again, I only want the bottom layer to stick. So I can leave these, and they've got the brad in the middle holding them together. I've glued the brad down quite well. And then I've got those going on there. I actually really like that. I think that looks really different. Right, I'm just going to tie this up again just so I don't catch it in the way while I put this piece on. So I'm going to put that on there. Obviously, it's going to have something stood on top of it to hold it down tight, because it is quite strong and it's curling up. So I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on it, and then I'm going to weigh it down. So I'm not going to put this on at the moment, but I am going to put that on there. I really like that. I'm going to put that on. So I'm just going to leave that out the way, and I'm going to do this before I call it a day. I'm actually going to do 2 more videos today. Just, they won't all go out together, but I need to catch up on some videos and get them out, so I'm going to do 3 today, because otherwise I'm going to be getting the crafting done, and I want to get it done, but I wanted to show it on video. So I thought, well, I'll do 3 in one day then. That's what I shall have to do. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying doing the videos and enjoying learning about it. Got my sort of reading and researching and learning how to do something completely new. I didn't sort of think I'd be doing this, but I really enjoy it. Absolutely love it. I'm no techno wizard. No good with technology. So I have to really read up on stuff, whereas kids just find it so easy. I do not. But if it's something you want to do, and I wanted to do this. Right, so that's as far as I've got on that one, and I really love that one. I think that's really lovely. And the back is just quite plain. I quite like that too. So I'm going to leave that like that. I think I'm going to leave that and put that on. I'll leave that one off. As I say, I'm doing 2 more videos today, so look out for them as well. They won't all air at the same time, but I will be doing some more. So in the meantime, keep safe, and I'll be back to you soon. Bye.